Join me today as I finish putting these C36 discs together and we go try them out. You're in or you're out. Well, would you look at there? I got 3 new discs, 16 inchers, of course 1 inch, and then over here I got that spool I was talking about. Yeah, it's just John Deere green. Somebody was making a joke about John Deere bailing me out, and it's like, well, if you consider a support mechanism like this, i.e. jockstrap, bailing me out, then you can have your premise. But also got the weight bracket and grade 8 3/4 inch bolt, so pretty happy about that. But first things first, let's get this painted. Well, that should do it. Now to match that bearing, I slide it in. I gain my 1/2 inch back. I didn't even measure it. I don't know if Dylan said it was 6.5 or 6 5/8, but either way I'm gaining space. Just to catch the new viewers up, what happened was I had a broken disc on the end of this and a broken bearing right there, and so I replaced the bearing. The spool ended up being 7.5 inches, and yeah, there's just not enough room on the thread, so putting in a 6.5 inch spacer, gain my space back, putting on 2 new discs. I'll have 1 spare, and that's fine. And then I don't know, as long as the rest of the bearings take grease, I think it's plow ready. Let's get this thing fired up and get those discs lifted up. Let's see, we're on, we're in neutral, we're not standing in front of the tractor. I don't know, sounds good to me, running a lot better. I noticed that when I bought it, one of these hydraulic levers was stuck behind one of these, I don't know, blocks, settings, and that kept the governor surging. Initially I thought it was the governator, and as it turns out it wasn't. It was that levernator. So yeah, let's pick her on up. There we go. Throw this off. Bloop. Bye-bye. Bloop. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And then on with the new. And the new ski. Maybe it won't know what to do ski. Okay, yeah. I like that. I like the looks of that. A lot, actually. Let's go see if that spool's dry enough to put on there. Yeah, it's still a little icky sticky. Not too bad. It's out in the sun though, and that's gonna do a lot for it. No doubt in my mind. Yeah. You know, honestly, I think I'll throw it on there anyway. Let it dry on the disco duckers. Otherwise, I think I'll be out of luckers. Ooh. There. We got a match. Blue on black. And then now we got a lot of thread space here now. These aren't the prettiest things in the world, but if I can tighten her down and have at least 3 threads showing, I'll be happy. And I will throw air on that end. So let's throw that disc on the end. Oh yeah, this side's gonna cut nice. Yep. You can see how much better that looks. It just does. And generally, if it looks better, it operates better. So I'm pretty thrilled. Actually, set up currently the way it is, I've got more space on that end right there than I did under the old regime. So yeah, let's check out these ends here. Yeah, see, they got this all boogered up. What I did was I ordered a spacer, and let me feel underneath here. That's broke off pretty good there, man. I did find half of these, and I can't remember if it was the top half or the bottom half, but truth be known, this top half is, the top is worse to the bearing than the bottom. This one here is good. That's lock, stock, and barrel solid. It's funny, I could peel this down and get more out of the parts for this than I could the disc. I mean, it's not really funny. I guess that's pretty typical actually. But here's your spacer. Let's see if I can find the spacer over here, or yeah, here it is. So I'm gonna put that on there. Yeah, let's see. I run my square nut right there. Of course, that's the wrong way. It goes like that. Tab first. Square nut. And then I'm going to put air on this and crank her down. I should be able to get a couple of threads out of that once I tighten her down, and then I'll tab it up. So yeah, that's your fix. Again, I got those Zerks up front for easy sake. You really probably better to have them facing that way so they're not facing the dirt, but let's face it, every time you go to grease them Zerks, you need to wipe them off anyways and make sure they're clean so you're not pumping dirt into the bearing. I suppose boxings, you know, you can drop them and clean them, not as critical as a regular bearing, but still, yeah, they tighten this thing down, see how she looks. What I'll do is hand tighten this down and then throw air on it. And yes, you can put air on these square nuts. And when I do, I'll have a couple threads sticking out. See right there would be perfect. That tab down. Nice thing about air on these too is you don't have to use, normally you have to use a pipe wrench on the axle to stop it from turning, or turn that, but the impact will turn it so fast and furious it won't get a chance. Well, I was just bragging about how I can get air around that square nut. I don't have the right size socket, so cheater bar and pipe wrench it is. Gang's turning a little, but the nut's turning a lot, so I'm okay with that. We'll be disking it all the time. Yeah, it's turning that whole axle. I'm gonna get another pipe wrench on it and stop it. That's at least 200 foot-pounds. Had my weight on it. Would have been nicer to use air on this, but didn't work out. I think that's pretty good. Now we're going to bend these tabs down, keep her tight. Dynamite. Hey, just take another pipe wrench, lock it in there, it shuts her down. You know, you can save a lot of problems on discs, not just these, my 370s that are out there, discs in general. If every time you went out, you greased them, of course, and then just took a little air and just zipped on the end, just tighten that gang up a little bit. A lot of the problems over time with disc sets like this is those ends come loose and they get a little bit wobbly. And I've seen it where, you know, you're like, oh, good enough. You're so much in a hurry to get to the field, you don't tap on those. Now again, with these square nuts, I don't have anything to fit over it like it needs to. Dylan's got a fitting that would go right over that, and I'd be able to air it down, but I think with all my body weight on that cheater bar, that'll do. In fact, that one's tighter than the other one, so I'm probably gonna go tighten up the rest of them. I'll see. I'll spare you the agony of watching me do that, but yeah, then I'm gonna fill the grease gun and get her done. Well, I'm actually glad I ran out of grease, because that ain't gonna work for me. I mean, this is wide open, and I do have half a bearing here from the one that I pulled, the bad one that I pulled, and replaced it with the aftermarket that I can throw on there, and I think it'll work. Throw it on there just like that. I'll have to grease from underneath, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would rather have the Zerk up like so, but I gotta replace the top. I suppose I could have it like that, but then you're gonna have these little windows open on each side. So it's some of them stinking things, man. And this is the same piece that I can get on the internet. Basically call it half a block. I don't know. They got stupid terms for them. Tops, bottoms, whatever. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, is pull that top off of there and try to force this one to work. Well, the only thing left to do is run and get a case of grease. I can't believe I let myself run out of grease many times as I'm at TSC or Napa or wherever. But yeah, I'm gonna run get some grease, fill these suckers up. We're going disco ducking, buddy. Well, the greasing's been done, and for the record, now granted, let me preface my statement. All these bearings were dry as a bone, but there's 8 bearings on here, box bearings, and 7 of them took one full tube. So that goes to show you how dry they were and are. One thing I want to say about the new bearing that I put on there, it's got the 2 Zerks. Some people are gonna be like, well, you got the Zerks in the front. When a rock hits that, it's gonna... I don't have rocks in my fields. I just don't. I'm lucky. I might have, you know, little teeny weeny pebbles or something like that, but for the most part, it's gravel and sand. And you know, I guess years and years and years of stone in this place with a little wagon and a four-wheeler has cleaned it up. So I think right now it's time to go disco ducking. Let's see what kind of job this C36 does. And a Super C. Actually, one more thing before I go. I read in a book a couple months ago, there's a pin or something you're supposed to pull and adjust and move. I'm not going in to read that book. Ledgemere Farms. Leave a comment and I'll pin it. You use these things like people should take showers daily, and you're gonna know what adjustments need made. Maybe whatever adjustments, see, because this is kind of like a weird setup on this one. Didn't come with the telescopic rod or leveling link, so maybe it's missing something in the back too. But yeah, let me know. But for now, I'm just gonna go out and disc and see how they do as is. All right, so here we are. This is where the rubber meets the road, or the rubber and the discs meet the field. And I don't know, you know, typically with the M or the H or whatever, first pass I feather, it's just as rough as heck. I've never done any field work with this tractor or its accompanied implements. So this first pass is going to be much more experimental, probably for me, but a lot of you have never used a Super C, I'm sure of that, with the attachments. But for those of you that have, stand by to stand by. And no, I don't have the fan shroud on there yet either. Got it ordered. Well, Well, that's an up and back. I don't think it did a horrible job. First time through, I kind of feathered it. I didn't really drop it. But, you know, they are what they are. They're, you know, a little 7-foot set of discs. There's your diff. I think 3 passes and it'd be ready to call to mulch. But, I don't know. Let's regulators mount up. You know the routine. And first pass, I'm going in 2nd gear. It's not only the first pass, but it's first time using the tractor. So I ain't trying to hot rod at all. At all. Woo! Nose up. Throttle up. Just because I'm in 2nd don't mean I don't need to bring the heat. Pretty much figured this out. You want to come through here just like I am now. 2nd gear, full throttle. Get yourself a level playing field like I am. And then 2nd pass, 3rd gear, and I don't know where the throttle will be. Maybe full. Might not need full throttle, 3rd. But that 2nd pass will kick her up a notch. Hit that 3rd gear. So you can see this has all been first passed. I'm going to go ahead and pop her in 3rd gear and test my theory out. You know, I know what to do on first pass. We've already figured that out, but let's go in 3rd and see if this dirt can handle the red power that this has to offer. Temperature wise, you can see we're running about 160, which is exactly what the thermostat is in this. That's perfect. Yeah, this is it. 2nd pass, 3rd gear. full throttle, third gear. Nice little rig, man. It's just fun to operate, fun to drive, you name it. Well, she's back in the shed, and I gotta tell you, I'm just as happy as I thought I would be with it. Obviously, you know, the downfall, what's the downfall? You're not covering a lot of ground fast. It is effective though. Down pressure on that fast hitch system, I mean, it just, you can go just about as deep as you want. And but yeah, I'm satisfied. It did exactly what I thought it would do. If you're a guy that just bought like 10 acres to play with or whatever, I would recommend a Super C or a Farmall 200 with all the impies to go with it. Just a fun tractor to operate. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Lots more Red Power auctions, pulls, and plow days. Boom.